Yo, Mr. Xander himself, what's up, man?
How's it going?
It's going good. How do you meet women right now? Mostly Bumble, right?
Majority online,
Gotcha.
which changed over the past few years because I would say when I was younger, it was almost 100% of the time actually in person or through parties.
But lifestyle changed and it just led to online.
Yeah, just as I got older, work was obviously busier and busier. And as people get older, a lot of times people will settle down or have kids or have families, right? So there's fewer and fewer people to actually do stuff with, and more people get focused on career, and more people, build their own life themselves. So yeah, it was just
Yeah,
easier to meet people one to one through an app as I got older.
makes sense. Now, do you think attractive women use dating apps? Like women who,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah, I'd even say I think majority of women today probably prefer to meet a guy through a dating app because they can just instantly filter for who's attractive and who isn't quickly.
yeah,
Like they can filter based off aesthetics and then decide for themselves like who's attractive and then decide if they want to actually get to know him and his personality then.
yeah, it's like online shopping for them, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Which sounds funny, but I think that's more so how it is. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like I think that because if she has to go out to a bar or a party and meet, 15 dudes, she doesn't have interest in 14 of them, right? But it's still conversations and meaningless conversations she had, which probably wasted her time. So I think majority of women honestly prefer to meet a guy that they perceive as hot or attractive and just do it that way because it's quicker online.
yeah. And you would say that you meet attractive women. They're not just on there, but you actually meet attractive women from online.
Oh yeah, all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where they're at. I mean, a lot of them work full time too, so it's like that's their outlet for meeting men today as well.
Yo, what's up, Chad? So, quick question for you. Do you think attractive women are on dating apps?
Bro, like, I just matched with fucking just now. I was just about to type a message out to this. Like,
Yeah, she's attractive. Yeah,
yeah, so I'm gonna say yes. Yes.
gotcha. And you also meet these attractive women off dating apps, right?
This is correct.
All right, so obviously today we are discussing if attractive women even use dating apps. Now, of course, hopefully we got the answer by now, and I'm sure you guys have seen attractive women on dating apps. However, sometimes I still come across the Jakes of the world, right? This is Jake. And Jake says that he only approaches hot women because they're not online. Now, I'm not sure what world Jake lives in, but we all know that that is not true. And I'm going to prove to you why in this video. And also, we have the Connors. He just uses social circle to meet hot women because, once again, they're not online. And if they are online, he's not meeting with them. And I could visually see why. But we're also going to discuss that. Now, with that logic, I'm getting at the fact that in order to meet attractive women, you must approach women all day and waste your time in doing so. You see, cold approach is one of those dating strategies in which I feel like it appeals more to younger guys. Guys in college environments, guys who like to go out to bars and clubs. But if you're a remote worker, if you're a guy who's working on his business, if you're a guy in your career, you're not going to be out there approaching women for the sake of approaching women because you think that's how you can get hot women. That's absolutely not true whatsoever. Or you have to use social circles. So you got to throw events that you really don't want to be at. I don't know about you, but I classify myself more as an introvert. I'm more of a thinker. I'm social. I know how to be social, but I'm not the type to throw events and parties and always be out in the scene and sort of have this promoter lifestyle while I'm almost 30 years old. It just doesn't make sense. Or I make friends with hot women to maybe meet their friends and maybe get a date. It's not the case whatsoever. And I've seen time and time again where guys have tried these methods to meet hot women and they realize that they were all lied to. It's wrong. Because guess what? All of them are online in some sort of way. Dating apps, Instagram, combination of the two. Even if she says that she's not online, I promise you she has used dating apps before. She either probably had a bad experience and took a break, or she's just actively taking a break for whatever reason. I came to the conclusion that if she is single if she is available, she is putting herself on platforms. Think about it like this. If I'm trying to sell something, let's say I have a camera, I got a few cameras laying around. Am I just going to walk around and advertise the camera to random people on the street, hold up a sign? Am I going to try to create auctions to where I try to sell this camera? No, I am posting it on multiple marketplaces online. Facebook Marketplace, eBay, OfferUp, these selling websites. I'm going to advertise it online because that's where I can get the most leverage. Not to mention, online is where women find the guys who they're actually interested in, the guys who they actually want to meet up with. Now, the issue with meeting women online is that most guys approach it all the wrong way. And that's a whole nother story for a whole nother day. Just to show you some of my accolades, I've met all these attractive women online. The woman on the left, guess what? She's still in my life. Not only is she beautiful, not only is she attractive, but she fits my vibes, right? We're compatible. We have chemistry. She's compliant. She is quote unquote submissive. And that's why I've kept her around. Also, this was a dinner date, and the woman cooked for me. She was very attractive. The type of woman to where you will see her at the gym and she would definitely turn heads. Then also, Instagram, where I met this particular woman at. And stay tuned. We're going to be doing a video together here soon, actually. But yeah, I've met plenty of attractive women online without a doubt. I've gone through my Rolodex of the women who I have met. And to be honest, 90% of them came online. When it comes to where I met these women in particular, I would say Instagram definitely has a lot more attractive women than Tinder. And then also Hinge and Bumble tends to have more attractive women, once again, than Tinder. So if you're confining yourself to one platform where most attractive women are not at, then you're just doing yourself a disservice. But before I even discuss about that, one thing we have to discuss is what even is considered attractive. First, I have the 6 to 7s. These I would classify as the archetype of the girl next door. They're cute. They're attractive to some men. Some guys would even say these women are 5s, 4s, depending on how much porn you watch or how much you're on the Instagram Explorer page. But these women aren't bad whatsoever. Now, with these women, they're cute. They're natural. They have that natural beauty. They're not really enhanced, nor do they really try to make themselves enhance. They just have that normal, natural look. Also, these women tend to be low maintenance, so you don't have to deal with hair appointments, nail appointments, them taking 2-3 hours to get ready. Because guess what? Some guys actually don't want to deal with a woman like that. Some guys want a simple girl, a girl who they're excited about, still attracted to. Also, I wrote here, abundant. These women are all across dating platforms, including Instagram, obviously. You'll find this type of woman on Tinder, on Hinge, on Bumble, on Facebook dating, on BLK, on these niche dating platforms, on Raya. They are in abundance. So if you consider the 6 or 7 your ideal type, guess what? They are online. And the thing about the 6 or 7 I realized is that they could actually be at 8 if they really wanted to be. All she has to do is wear some nice flattering clothes, do some makeup, maybe get some lip filler, get her teeth whitened, bam, she's now like a 8. Then also in terms of the social aspect, these women tend to have private IG accounts. They're not ones to have like a lot of followers or a lot of status. And once again, after working with plenty of guys and plenty of clients, I find that a lot of these guys really don't want the woman who has 5,000, 10,000 followers on IG, yet alone 50,000 and 100,000 followers. Now, up next, we have the 8s. The 8s are what I consider the princesses. They are objectively attractive, and I would even argue these are the ideal type. Now, the 8s are obviously pretty. They usually have higher sex appeal, and they're mid-maintenance. So they will take some time to get their hair done, do their makeup. They like to go shopping. They do all the girly stuff, and even sometimes they're slightly enhanced. These are the types to, get their lips done, get their toes done, maybe have a few enhancement surgeries here or there, but nothing crazy. Now, in terms of accessibility, these women are a lot more rare, but they're not inaccessible. I would argue that if we go back up to the woman who I've met here, no disrespect to them whatsoever, but most of them are like 8.5s. Some guys might consider a 9, but objectively, I consider these women like 8.5s. And they were perfect because, once again, they're rare, but they're not unaccessible. They're not tainted. And usually the 8s, if they glowed up in their early to mid-adult years, they actually came from a 6 to 7 and just upgraded. So they tend to have a more humble nature about them too. Now, the only downside about 8s is that because they are more attractive, they do like to show off their looks a little bit more. And so you might find this woman to have 5 to 20,000 IG followers. So if you are a guy who doesn't really like a woman who posts herself a lot or has that added layer of status to her name, then you might want to go down to the 7.5, 7s. But not every 8 obviously has 5 to 20,000, but it's just more likely. Now, up next, we have the 9s. The 9s are the bombshells. The women in which you look at them and you frankly can't believe that they are real. They're super, super attractive. Every guy ever wants to get with them. She gets approached and messaged and DM'd constantly. And these women almost always tend to be popular solely for just their looks. Now, some of you guys also might consider this woman an 8 and might consider this one a 9. See how there's still like a slight subjective component to it? But we all can agree that the 9s are, without a doubt, drop dead gorgeous. Now, also, I find that the 9s tend to be very enhanced. So, boob job, BBL, they're not natural whatsoever. Lip filler, Botox. These women really care about their looks, and that's why, for the most part, they're 9s. I don't even think a 9 exists without some sort of surgical enhancement. I personally have never seen one. Once again, I'm viewing more from an objective lens. When it comes to 9s or what you perceive to be a 9, this is going to be your perfect phenotype. The woman who you dream about, the woman who's like, you have that imprint on. She is just perfect for you in every sort of way. Some of you guys might not like Latinas. I never met a guy who didn't like a big booty Latina. Some of you guys might like the blonde, blue-eyed version of this. But without a doubt, she's your perfect type. Now, one thing to consider is that these women tend to be very, very high maintenance just because of all the enhancements, the surgeries. They're going to stop and look at every single mirror they walk past, always going to be taking selfies, always going to have some sort of appointment they have to go to. Usually they're heavily into style and fashion too, so they have a budget. Most times they don't have careers. They're actually making money off their looks, be it bartender, be it even OnlyFans, or they have sugar daddies. That's why I put here too. Like, these women tend to be OnlyFans models and escorts, especially if you live in a major city. Almost always. These women are very, very rare everywhere and inaccessible for 99% of men. These women are usually reserved for the top 1% of the 1% of men who have that status, the celebrities, the athletes, the ballers, and who also don't mind tricking a little bit, who don't mind spending a little bit of money to acquire this woman, be it giving her an experience, be it sending her a monthly paycheck, buying her clothes, buying her nails. And most of you normal guys just don't want to do that. So I would say in any context, these women are super, super rare. Dating apps, obviously they are on Instagram though. This is not the type of woman who you're just going to run up and cold approach in a grocery store, because she's probably not even at the grocery store. Regardless of what dating strategy you choose, these women are going to be hard to come by. Now, after working with plenty of men, I've come to the conclusion that most men actually just want a 7 to 8. You want a woman who you're attracted to, who listens to you, who isn't always in the mirror, who is medium to low maintenance, who makes your life easy and provides value to you. You see, I've realized that, and this came with maturity, is that I much rather value compliance and what they do for me over looks and attraction. Even if I were to attract the 9, the bombshell, and I had, let's say, a 9 and an 8 to choose from, but the 8 was making herself more available, she was more enthusiastic, she was higher interest, I would choose her over the bombshell all day, every day. And so whenever you do get to a point where you are attracting volume, you need to optimize and prioritize compliance and value over attraction. Not saying that you don't want to be attracted to her, but let's be real and be real with yourself. You will be okay with a 7 to 8, what you perceive to be a 7 or 8. And there's nothing wrong with that, because once again, Most men actually just want the 7 or 8. Now, I actually got some screenshots here of some women that my clients have matched with, including myself. So as you see here, this woman, very, very attractive. I would say she's like an 8.5, almost pushing 9. Almost pushing 9. And guess what? She's on Bumble. She's on Bumble. Another woman right here, I would say she's like a 8.5 also. She's on Hinge. This woman right here, she's on Bumble. And I'm showing you guys different archetypes to show that there's plenty of attractive women using online dating. You just have to match with them and convert them, which is the hardest part. So let's take a look at some more examples. I actually matched with her. This was when I was in South Florida. I saw her and I was like, wow, like most guys will be so excited if a woman of this caliber and attractiveness messaged them. Even this woman, or even this woman right here, who you can see that I've actually matched with. So there's no shortage of attractive women whatsoever on dating apps. You first gotta just know exactly what you want and really write this down. Like, what is your ideal type? What does she look like? What would you rate her out of 10? What are her habits? Does she have a lot of IG followers or does she have a little bit? Now, a few things I want you to consider here, and that is if you're not ever seeing attractive women or matching with them, chances are it is you. We have to be real with ourselves. We have to look in the mirror. It's not the fact that women do not use online dating. It's the fact that there's a problem with you. So once again, dating apps reflect your reality. Life is a mirror, not a window. So your reality is going to be based on two things: your location, where you're located at. If you never see 8s or 9s when you walk outside, chances are they're probably not on dating apps because they don't exist. And so you have to be real with yourself. How attractive are the women in my local area? And I find that if you're in a big metro area, a big city, obviously there's going to be more women there. I kid you not, guys. From where I'm living at right now, Orlando, Florida, Central Florida, it's like a medium-sized city, 400,000 to 500,000 people. I get, decent matches here or there. And of course, I come across the occasional 9, but it's very rare. Most women are like 7 to 8s here. But when I go to Miami, when I go to New York or move my location, guess what happens? All of a sudden, I'm getting super attractive matches. And so I'm not sure how willing you are to change your locations for better dating options, but we do have to consider the fact that location plays a gigantic role of how attractive the woman will be based on your city. Then also, let's keep in mind our sexual market value. That's one thing we can never forget. Our looks, money, status, and what we perceive ourselves to be. Because once again, your sexual market value doesn't have to be in reality your SMV, but it's more so what the woman perceives in that context to be your SMV. So we're talking about online. Ben here, his SMV is very low. There's no context of any high status. He's overweight, needs to lose weight. He doesn't look the most appealing. He looks a bit nerdy with the glasses. He needs to work on himself if he wants that. I would say 7 to 8. I would guarantee Ben is probably matching with 4s and 3s. So if you actually want to test this out, you can do a few things. You can change your dating app location to a major city, and then, of course, effectively lead with multiple attraction triggers online. Those two things alone, you will see what you're truly capable of in terms of attracting higher quality women. And remember, higher quality doesn't only mean looks. It means also internally what they do for you, the value that they bring. I actually specialize in helping guys attract and convert higher quality matches online. For example, right here, client of mine, he got some decent pics done. And as you see, they're a lot more higher status. He's using multiple attraction triggers with a dog, with pets, with his suit, on the pool. And guess what? He started getting more matches with hotter girls because of it. And he can now also improve his Instagram presence because of the newfound presentation. Also, Jason, he said, I never thought I'd say this, but there's some baddies, aka attractive women, in my likes queue that I'm hesitating to like back because I don't want to find out if that's a mistake. What a weird problem to have. So he's getting the matches. And we did this by refining his presentation, by implementing multiple attraction triggers, and then setting up the right dating app strategy so that women come to him. Attractive women at that. I've seen guys go from literally matching with 3s, 4s, going out on dates with unattractive women, women who catfish them, women who they're just not excited about, to completely changing their dating life, to attracting that dream girl. that 8, that 8.5, who also cooks for them, cleans for them, takes care of them. Imagine how your life would change if that was to be you. If you want to work with me one-on-one and actually implement this system into your current online dating strategy right now, click the link down below. Let's schedule a free call to see how we can personally help you. That way, you're getting the attractive matches just like this. Thank you guys for watching. I'm going to see you in the next video.